Hello and welcome to Dice Punks, a tabletop role-playing podcast where we focus on playing full campaigns in less well-known systems. This week, in episode 45, our Nobilis try to speedrun creating a religion. Hello and welcome. I'm Adam, your friendly neighborhood game master, and joining me are...
Hi, I'm Drew. I'll be playing Leorian Qatar. Viscount of Tempo. Got me a hymnal. Got me a cult. Looking forward to that any % religion run.
Hi, I'm Robin, and I'll be playing Lyssa Crate, the recently revived but not yet restituted Furious Queen.
Hi, I'm Dez, and I'll be playing Ramnet, who probably should not end up with a cult, given the likelihood of it ending as a serial convention.
Oh,
Marvelous.
I've seen how that's happened before in an episode on Netflix.
Exactly.
So, I have a note to myself here to remind myself, my players, and listeners that our Nobilis did receive one mortal experience point last time that may or may not have been edited back into the final version of the episode that our listeners heard, but I certainly didn't remember it at the place I meant to say it, so noting it here. And of course, Ramnet has a bonus XP roll
before the end of session.
I appreciate that.
If you weren't so good at endings and cliffhangers and stuff, it wouldn't be such an issue.
For today's XP roll, only 2 6s, but also 2 3s.
Well, you still only get the 1 point, which is weirdly tangy and acidic.
Notes of grapefruit.
No, that's just delightfully, tart bitter.
Sure, true.
So, now that we have our...
For official note,
Mhm.
this set of descriptions of XP is now 4 lines long, making it as long as any spell or ability that I have.
I see no problems with this. Will there be any character stat growth?
Yes. I am going to spend 1 XP and then 5 XP for a total of 6 to give myself a master die from one of my pre-existing dice in empathy.
Ah, excellent. And what does that bring your skill total for empathy to?
2 plus a master die, so if rolling with sense, it is then 7 plus a master die.
You will be very empathetic.
I will understand what's going on with others. That is a threat.
I think if the Nobilis of Murder understands you, that is implicitly a threat, but I do appreciate the clarification all the same. If there isn't any other stat growth, then it is time for our recap of last session, courtesy this time of Leorian.
So, my sister, Firagi, is smarter than I am. That's fine, even if I'd never exactly tell her so. But she figured out, to her lasting credit and to my more than slight shame, that worship of nothing could entail a lack of worship for all gods, and that she was uniquely positioned to spread the good word, and that this would, hilariously to her, make her my high priestess. And just as we came to this conclusion, I was plucked back to Bor. The Lady Cillian had turned out to be the imperator of betrayal, and had done her thing, betrayal, that is, and then she had fled. I assume that matter is concluded. Apatia looks different now, and Imbi is audible now. They seem happy about these changes, and that in turn makes the rest of us happy. Lyssa was also very happy to see Varric. And then it was time to make more cults. So we set out. We went to the Fore Village at the gates of Fermata, where Lyssa was greeted by Remulus, and then by some other notable admirers. Kea? Thad? She was understandably overwhelmed. Ramilus said that he'd seek out Philia and see if he might rally his god Dogun to our cause. Should we leave the city, he said, we should be sure to let him know. Nice guy, that Storm. Nice Storm, that guy. In Fermata, the apparently ever-changing statue had changed into some kind of hooded figure. We went to Romnet's for coffee. Apatia very easily acquired a cultist of her own, of a kind. I set to work on a hymnal for my cult, or honestly for Firagi's cult, as much as mine are Dosk's. And the others set off for the manifestation, but found no well there, just a cellar. They took what they could, power-wise, and this triggered something of an enfolding of the two halves that make up Fermata, or made up Fermata. It seems that the riotous city and the quiet city are now a single city. But the cost of this was terrible. I ruined a perfectly good, no, in truth, an especially good page of my hymnal. So rather than investigate, I set to work repairing the damage, and the others began working their way back through the reconfigured city and toward me.
Marvelous. Thank you very much. That is where we will rejoin our action. We will leave Leorian to his scribbling and rejoin Lissa and Romnet on the steps of the manifestation above the square outside of it, looking at a reconfigured city. And I believe the last bit of information I had imparted was that you could see sunlight through the encanopying branches of the massive trees around Fermata that indicated to you that no time had passed since you had entered the city.
I'm sorry, I'm still recovering from pantomiming the sun with the truth.
We did a sort of a, this is the real drawback of radio, dear listeners. You didn't get to see us being the sun.
And I did see that you were doing something, but I was also looking at my notes, so my brain just went fusion dance and left it at that.
We didn't fuse this time. I guess we have more work to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be a giant woman yet.
Adding that to the show notes.
We should have a giant woman reference counter at this point, honestly.
Kinda, yeah.
Probably.
All right. Well,
Lissa, for the record, is a giant woman without any help from anybody.
Correct,
so,
yeah.
But there is always the potential to become even more giant. But so I guess we just head straight for, well, we would be remiss if we completely left without addressing the people inside that were staring blank-eyed. Were they still there when we left?
Yeah, no, they hadn't moved. They weren't immobile, but they hadn't gotten up. They hadn't shifted where they were sitting. They were sort of blinking lazily and aimlessly looking around the manifestation, occasionally at each other, saying nothing.
Yeah, we should check on them.
I suppose you re-enter the manifestation, and yeah, they're still there. Imbi as well is in evidence, making minute adjustments to the furnishings and especially cushions, seeming to plan to essentially make a little bit of an in-town headquarters for herself here.
I try to get the attention of the nearest blank face person. And I ask, are you okay?
This is a shorter, dark-haired fellow who sort of blinks with an almost reptilian kind of asynchronous quality between his eyes, although he doesn't look troglodyte like a lot of Fermatans have started to over the last couple of months. And his eyes don't really focus, but he does turn his head towards you, and it sort of wobbles, and he blinks a few times, and then his eyes sort of focus for a moment and then drift again, but he doesn't say anything.
Is that you, Rip Timothy?
I think
when
we would
you
recognize
ask that
Rep
question, his blank expression sort of firms up into a little bit of confusion, and he says with a voice that sounds like it hasn't been used in a minute, he says, Timothy? And then his attention drifts again.
I look at Romnet. I don't know how to help these people.
Can I roll realm, or rather roll empathy in some sort of realm divination?
Yeah, go ahead and give me the empathy roll first, and then if you're doing a lesser divination of realm, we can handle that afterwards.
Okay. So that is 2 9s and 2 1s becomes 3 9s and 2 1s.
I think 3 9s are going to be where we go with that.
Yeah.
And so you'd need to spend 1 realm miracle point for a lesser divination. You can do a realm-driven divination, but that's not going to give you really any information, since there doesn't seem to be any like trouble or danger associated with these passive folk.
Okay. Oof, my miracle points.
Yeah.
The subtitle of this campaign.
Truly.
So you sort of feel at this room full of baffled seeming, vague looking people, and with the pretty good success on empathy, you'll sort of be able to piece together that these folks haven't been here very long in the grand scheme of things. You're not sure where they came from or why they're here specifically, but kind of they seem confused because they are essentially without context for any of this, and they have all been sitting here for the same amount of time, roughly a day.
Can I do a lesser creation of fury in them and give them the precise sort of rage one feels when experiencing executive dysfunction?
This too.
Interesting. Yes, you can do that. And they get fidgety and agitated. And the one that you spoke to sort of grumbles, Timothy.
I'm going to adopt them all. Yes, Timothy. I think that was your name. All of your names.
The one that you spoke to before actually does look at you with a little more attention this time. He goes, Name, Timothy. And then slowly stands up and starts looking around with a little bit more attention.
Dearest darling Dosk, do you want to adopt the Timothys?
They seem lost.
By that I mean I am indeed praying to Dosk.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been clearer that was a prayer from where I'm sitting.
There is a heavenly look and...
Yeah. By way of response, each of these bewildered individuals sort of gets a little bit of like a drop shadow behind them in 2D perspective for a moment, and then there is a rapid series of about 16 pops, and then they are gone.
I feel good about that.
Yeah. No, I think that is definitely a good thing to have done.
Imbi, for her part, kind of glances around, shrugs, and goes back to minutely rearranging things in the manifestation.
Nice.
Just recruiting followers.
Leorian, you are at this point by yourself in Ramnat's house and have been for a little while, and you have fixed your spoiled page and are coming up on the end of your task here, having miraculously accelerated it as you have. I'm tempted, and I should have said this last time, I should have given you homework. The last time that I played, well, it was a player in a proper Dungeons and Dragons game, was 3.5 edition, and I played as a bard. And the back of my character sheet had a double column of song titles that I had written about our party's exploits. What are the chances that you have or are willing to improvise any titles of any of these hymns for us?
Oh, jeez.
Well, the chances that I have them are 0.
Okay.
The chances that I can improvise them are probably greater than 0. If you're looking at the hymnal, I wanted to appeal to Firagi's sensibility. So there are stately titles, kept it simple initially, things like an ode to nothing. Then sort of things that might appeal a little bit more after a few drinks. Things like let the gods fall. I will fully admit that this is from Dez's Peanut Gallery stream, but how about our God is an awesome nothing?
I think that we should adopt this Mad Libs approach and just go through the Wesley Brothers songs and just replace one word with nothing.
Amazing nothing, how sweet the sound.
As the deer pants for the nothing. Lord of the nothing.
A mighty fortress is our nothing.
There you go. The old rugged nothing.
Nothing I shall not want.
I could sing of your nothing forever.
Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for nothing.
Also can be sung to the tune of the Pokemon theme song.
Or Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
A 3-hour nothing.
Oh,
it's a meditation song now.
Yeah.
I hope I've satisfied the task for the moment.
Absolutely
anyway.
perfect. What this has also given me, though, is wanting to get a full rewrite of O Fortuna to be O Nihilo.
Can't promise by the end of the session.
No,
that
would be insane. True,
it takes a village. I am nothing. Look, I am nothing if not insane.
Aren't we all?
Mm-hmm.
So,
sort of a requirement around here.
That's true. Then again, I may be, not insane and nothing, given the current tenor of things.
Having finished your sheaf of the first round of hymns to nothing, what is your intent following this task?
Well, I want to get a copy of this to Firagi as quickly as possible, but we of course are here now. It occurs to me belatedly that the world shook, and I should probably see if the world is still more or less where I left it. So I think I slug down the rest of I believe it was a pint of coffee, and I walk to a window if there is one, or a door if there's not.
There are windows towards the front of Ramnat's house, and you walk to those, and you look out, and you see sunlight hitting the street. Not a lot of it, but that's different.
I'm struck by the unusualness of that, and then by the fact that that's unusual, and I start to wonder what happened, and I sound for the others. How far are they from me?
They were headed towards the manifestation. And you know where this is, having been in Fermata before, even if you haven't gone inside the manifestation, you've been to its steps. They are further away than they should be if they're at the manifestation.
So the sensible thing to do would be to assume they're going to come to me and stay put, but I don't think I do that. I think I try to find them.
Okay. You set out.
Yeah, where has the sensible thing gotten us?
I wouldn't know.
We don't know because we haven't done it.
We have no experimental evidence.
Untested premise.
And we're not going to find out today. I start making my way in what seems like their direction.
You might even say making your way downtown.
I mean, I don't know at this point. I don't know if town or down are still relevant concepts, but I start making my way.
Indeed.
Writing a piano.
Exactly.
The one thing that you'll notice almost as soon as you step outside is that there is a sort of low-key type of confusion or concern among the people moving around, and that this street looks a little different than it did when you entered Ronet's house, so that you couldn't put a finger exactly on what is different without doing like a side-by-side comparison. So, Romnet, having passed the bewildered congregation off to Dusk, what is your next move?
Probably start to head towards Leorian, since our good deed has been done. We have not left.
Back to my house, wherever it may be.
Yes.
Now that both sides of the city have collapsed upon itself.
Yeah.
Is my house bigger now that both parts of the city?
No. Neither is the manifestation.
Does it still have 2 exits?
Yes, but one is just in the front and one is in the back.
I mean, as is reasonable for houses that exist only in one place, yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Though you won't be able to observe all of that firsthand. True. Immediately. You step out and there's, again, sort of like a low level kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Confusion among the people in the plaza. People are, who had set up stalls there are picking things up and writing things, after the shaking. And people are sort of murmuring and talking, but no one seems overly concerned. And you can again see sort of the, very barest hints of sunlight through the overarching trees. The city still has visible in the shadowier areas its little silver limning that made it navigable before, but now you also have natural light in small doses to help you out there.
I get someone's attention and I say, how about this weather we're having?
So you turn to sort of the nearest person as you're passing. How about this weather we're having? And an older fellow with a bat-like countenance that is completely eyeless turns to you and, sort of his ears twitch, his tongue sort of darts out real quick. And he says, "When has there been weather? What has happened?"
Your guess is as good as, or perhaps better than mine, my good and bat-like sir.
He sort of shakes his head and says, "Well, now that you mention it, does smell different. If you find out anything, let me know." And goes on his way.
Nice guy. I keep walking.
In relatively short order, you realize that as you are traveling towards your companions, they are traveling towards you. And all of you meet up, just sort of coming around a corner on a street that didn't really exist before. One of the things you'll have noticed as you have been traveling is that the canals are less orderly than they used to be. It seems like all of the canal length of both cities is still present, but it's not like the canal systems that were congruent stayed congruent, or like one just rotated 90 degrees but stayed in the same relations. It's sort of like the way the canals were have now been interrupted at chaotic intervals by bits of extra canal. And it is at this particular corner that you can see that part of how this functions is that the canals now go subterranean in places, running under the city for a time in places, only to reemerge open-topped elsewhere. They are less still than they were before, too.
I have no sense of direction, but does this city look different? Not if you don't have no sense of direction.
Yeah.
Character sheet.
That's statistically true. Yeah.
Adam,
Mm-hmm.
can I also spend 1 point of XP to get 1 sense of direction? It occurs.
You know what? I'm actually going to rule that you can do that next session as a result of having to find your way around the city this session.
There you go. Let the record show that I have no sense of direction, although I haven't rolled for it as yet.
I haven't been using it. You've just been heading towards
True
where your
enough.
friends are.
You've just been having it.
Yeah, sure. I also have perfect timing, so whether that's relevant or not, I've certainly come to assume that it's relevant and not make plans as a result.
What a wonderful way to avoid responsibility.
Nice work if you can
As
get it.
is the Leorian way.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you have all come together here, observed these things. Lissa has posed her question.
I think we might be down one city, depending upon how one counts.
How can we be down one city?
I undid the murders that made it a chancel.
Oh, that was, the earthquake. Got it.
Undid the those who were murdered then are unmurdered.
They're dead but not murdered any longer.
Oh,
Their deaths are no longer the foundations of a chancel.
At peace, then.
Anybody who would like to roll a sense
Gone at
plus
any rate.
sight may do so at this time.
I'll do it for fun.
The record
Because I
show-
have exactly 2 dice.
Uh-huh.
I have a fair bit of sense, but no sight per se. So.
All right.
I have
7
a
and
reasonable amount of
4.
sense and 1 sight. Is speed or is height or width more important, Adam?
I mean, I guess either has its uses in this case.
Incredibly
four-
specific and useful.
Indeed, I rolled 4 dice and got 2 9s, so I'm
Excellent.
pretty happy with
Okay,
that.
then you've got the height. I'll take the width with 3 ones.
Rona, you notice while this person is still 10 yards out that there is somebody you don't recognize and who does not especially look like a longtime resident of Fermata hurrying towards the three of you.
Does this person perhaps look Sirthan?
They might. They're not dressed like a Sirthan, but they could be a Sirthan.
What do they look like in the sight?
Well, I'm going to give Leorian a little bit, if you are kind enough to draw his attention to this. I will give him a moment before we get to that. Leorian, you have a little bit more of, a what's the word I'm looking for here? Detailed observation of this person who is approaching. Specifically, what you note is that this is a relatively solidly built fellow with sort of a golden complexion, dark hair, dark eyes, dressed in what you would think of as sort of like unremarkable for modern fashion, but looking otherwise relatively out of place. Hurrying toward you with a sheen of perspiration on his forehead and fairly wide eyes. Ramnet, looking at this fellow in the sight, gives you the sense that this is someone with a dimension of divinity that is being actively concealed. You have a moment or two if you have any particular reactions before this person will be close to you.
I'm going to rule that I'm still facing the wrong direction.
Sure.
Until someone alerts me otherwise. I'm just smiling.
It's the last remnant of the delegation.
I turn around and notice them finally.
Right as this fellow...
I will say this addressed to them.
Sure. Right as this fellow comes to a stop, he sort of gives a hasty but forceful bow and straightens up and sort of looks and goes, "We haven't met, but what's...
No, we certainly haven't, even though you were a guest in this city.
Going
acting against it.
On.
Who are you? Or rather, what are you in charge of?"
He licks his lips and he's like, I am Eka, confession. Something just happened. The city has changed. What has changed?
Perhaps you should confess what you were doing here.
Seems like it could only be to the good, from your perspective.
He visibly tries to calm himself, and he says, "I have been cut off in this God's forsaken place for a literally unmeasurable amount of time. And now I think I might have the chance to get out. But as a bewildering a place as this is, apologies."
Is your god still alive?
I don't know. I'm still alive, so presumably, but...
We've learned there's some wiggle room on that particular point, actually.
Clearly.
A little bit of color drains from his face, and he just licks his lips and says, "Look, I can help you if you can help me just find out where I should be and what's going on. I was originally here to try and do sabotage, but that plan has long since been torpedoed." I probably wouldn't say torpedoed. This has long since been sunk.
Yes.
I realize how rude it would be to interrupt the terrible silence that Ramnet has intentionally created. So I do not.
If you wanted to help, you could make it seem to last longer.
Yeah, I do exactly that.
I get uncomfortable and be like, "Hi, I'm Lissa."
He nods gratefully and says, "It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Lady Lissa."
You're aware of the war, clearly, since you were here to do sabotage. That has since sunk. What you may not be aware of is that there is currently a god that has slain numerous other gods, including our former employee, not to mention, and I go through the list again.
There was also an attempt on your god. We don't actually know how it concluded. The desert was also involved.
Mm-hmm.
He seems tense.
By the way, I'm Ramnet. Murder.
It is an honor to make your acquaintance.
And I should mention that I'm Fury.
Oh, an honor as well, my lady.
Tempo, I say, as though it is exactly as frightening as Fury and Murder.
He
Silence and sensation are elsewhere in the city.
Blinks twice, still looking at Leorian, and then says, "I see. Well, perhaps there's somewhere we could go to talk, and I can help you, or I hope I can.
I hope so too.
God has evidently abandoned me, and I would very much just like to go home."
I mean, we have it on good authority that changing management is possible if you're unsatisfied with your boss.
His eyes widen a little bit, and he licks his lips nervously and says, well, I suppose we will see. He struggles not to, dry wash his hands.
A place to talk, then. Usually I would know the best place to get something to drink.
My house or Boar?
At that moment, well, it sounds kind of like a loud peal of thunder, but it emanates from the ground level of the city in the direction of the gate and passes through the whole city.
Sounds like Romulus warning us of something.
I'm going to pray to Romulus.
Okay. What do you say?
O mighty storm and beloved friend, was that you?
Remolus's voice comes back to you as though distant, and says, "Furious Queen, I know not what that was. Somehow, someone has passed me by without my observing them. Be wary."
Thank you.
As the sort of channel to Romulus closes, following the same basic vibrations of the roll of thunder-like sound is a wave of darkness, returning the city as it passes to inky blackness, distinguished only by silver limning.
That was my shard. We're being visited by someone that got past Romulus, and it seems they have taken over one of my domains.
Shall we get to a marketplace?
Eka, for his part, seems to be trying to hunch into a singular point somewhere around his solar plexus.
Stay close to us.
Of course, my lady.
Can I... So, because it was previously a domain of mine, can I do... Trying to figure out how to tap into something that is no longer there.
I have what will perhaps be unwelcome news.
I can't.
The most you can get is sort of like a phantom limb kind of sensation from it. It's not useful.
Okay. Well,
Looking
I'll just
around
look
with
around
the
with the site.
Yeah.
All right. Looking around with the site, you can see that there is, in fact, some sort of miraculous resonance to this darkness. You are far enough removed from the gate plaza that you can't really perceive any individuals there, mundane or divine. Though Eka seems to have stopped attempting to mask his divine nature, and you can get a handle on him as being, medium bright.
Is he brighter than Leorian?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm
Is he brighter than me currently?
Yes.
I'm going to take a couple of steps into get close to Leorian more or less, and probably grab Ika as well. And then suggest that we head towards the gates.
All right.
there certainly was an announcement. It would be poor form to decline that invitation.
Yeah, and so, staying close, you head in that direction. It doesn't go as quickly as it would have before the city rearranged itself, but you do know the direction from which the darkness kind of traveled, so it is reasonably easy to keep your bearing, or at least Leorian finds it easier.
We do have one brain cell among us now.
Indeed,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Leorian, you keep the bearing in mind. You head through the darkness, now looking rather like the old Fermata. The people on the sidewalks are sort of whispering to each other and heading indoors for the most part, where they can. Though
Can
a
I
few
tug on Apatia to kind of notify her that something is up? Unless she's my sister and all.
You can tug on her. You can't really provide any specific information, but you can basically do the equivalent of like,
Bing!
hearing a
That's all I
notification sound. Yeah.
Yeah, I will be silent with the intent of doing the same for Inby, or at Inby.
Good deal. There are a few of the people who aren't heading inside are heading your way. They are going towards the plaza. I would say 1 in every 3 to 4 people who are on the street are heading to see what's up. It takes a minute, so if there's anything in particular you want to speak about or establish on the way, you have an opportunity. If not, we'll cut directly there.
Can I roll that my tattoo starts itching in a way it has not previously?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that causes me to look at it and realize it kind of, rather than where the snake head usually is on my hand, it's now kind of scabbed over in the way of like freshly healed ink,
Mm-hmm.
in a way that obscures what's there.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't feel like super uncomfortable, a little itchy, but yeah, something is up with your tattoo. After a time, actually, I guess this would be a good opportunity to get a roll to see how much time. Leorian, you are leading the way here, and your sense plus direction is 6 dice. Please go ahead and roll that for me.
Will do. If I can count to 6.
I have faith in you.
That is 2 3s.
Okay. You are fairly confident, but perhaps a little tentative as you lead your merry band towards the origin point of this darkness. But as you get close, you are able to hear the indistinct sounds of someone like projecting to, say, a crowd as they speak. And this gives you a firmer bearing, and you're able to speed up somewhat as you head closer. The voice itself has, for Lissa and Romnet at least, a little bit of a familiar, various timbre where it sounds like a few voices speaking not in perfect unison. But you emerge into the plaza to see quite a few people having turned to face the figure depicted in the statue standing on the statue's pedestal in almost the same pose, although the statue isn't facing in the same direction, and addressing this crowd. A statement sort of dies off as you approach, and there's murmuring in the crowd. Another thing that catches your attention, though, is that around the base of the statue, like on the plaza cobblestones, are about a dozen people sort of swathed in trailing dark garments with a variety of stylized laughing, sneering, crying, grinning, in some cases maybe screaming masks. And they are, each of them, dancing somewhat wildly to not at all the same song that the other ones are. There's, of course, no music audible either. Each one seems to be putting their entire being into dancing to a different inaudible song. You can observe nothing about these people except for their height and build, which vary, and their masks. Everything else is the same sort of swaths of trailing dark cloth.
What do they look like with the sight? The entire, like the people in the masks and the figure that's hooded.
The people in the masks look like mortals. The figure that's hooded looks like an imperator.
Is that you, Mott?
So in this...
It's me, Arthur.
That's me. Your dark daughter.
Into this moment of sort of silent gravitas that you've walked in on as some indeterminate statement, sort of dies away. Lissa, you call out, "Is that you, Mott?" And I'm going to give you an option here. You can roll, depending on how you intend for this to land, Charm plus Graces or Charm plus Jest. Both are a pool of 5. All I need for you to do is to pick which intent is behind your words.
What do we think, players?
I mean, you have always had the most respect, at least in your Mavia half,
Yeah.
for Mott.
True.
But A, you are reconstituting and reuniting, and B, we have confirmation from several sources that Mott's dead.
Mm-hmm.
So still reasonable to go either way. If it were me,
you would do Jest.
It would be Jest.
I don't
but
think I've
that
done
would be
a Jest
Dez
roll.
and Rumnat.
Yeah, just feels right in this situation.
Yeah, I'm a little bit better about darkness and what have you. So we're gonna go for Jest. I got 2 2s.
Okay.
It is a relatively new thing for me to try.
Sure, yeah. So you call out, and there's a beat of perfect stillness and silence in this plaza, and then there is the low murmur of every third or fourth person chuckling quietly. The figure on the base of the statue sort of turns its darkened hood in your direction with a deliberate sort of slowness, and its arms sort of fall out of its pose, and then they fling one arm in your direction and say, "See what a mockery the old servants make of our cause, brethren. Were they not protected by the coward and traitor god, I would hie all of you to tear them limb from limb for their blasphemy." And the whole time that this exchange has happened, the sort of dancing and, we'll say it's just in the range of contorting figures, have not stopped to respond to anything. They've just been going to the beat of their own drum the whole time and continued to do so.
I mean, you begin to sound like Brother Umber.
There is a throaty chuckle from the figure in the hood. Brother Umber did not know how much a fool he was. Fortunately,
On that we can certainly agree.
I have improved upon him. And the figure casts back their hood, and there isn't a head there, just a void that sort of shimmers and writhes like something between smoke and a mirage.
God, this asshole's just trying to one-up me.
And who are you exactly?
I embody darkness, revelry, and madness, and this is my domain.
So you have something that's mine and the two things I left behind.
More foolish you were for it. And the last consonant there reverberates, and there is a titter of unhinged laughter from the assembled mortals.
Bold of you to be out in the open when there are god killers afoot.
If we're to have any hope of surviving the coming conflict, we need our base of operations, don't we? Only I come home to find it infested with apostates.
That and it's no longer a chancel.
So you say. At this moment, the three of you together, sense the arrival of Apatia from another sort of route into the plaza. Though you cannot currently see her through the gloom in the crowd. You know that she and whoever she may have brought with her are here now.
Even more bold of you to show up here in your base of operations, which is no longer a chancel, as my compatriot has pointed out, outnumbered, and talking some sort of big game. Is this a game to you? By the way, hello, I'm Leorian. I serve the coward and traitor god you referred to earlier.
There's another ripple of not entirely sane laughter from the crowd.
The not entirely sane laughter is echoed under my breath.
It's fair enough.
Does Akon give any indication of knowing what the actual hell is going on?
When you turn to look, you don't see him.
Just an Aka-shaped cloud.
I mean, Lissa had her hand on him.
Mm-hmm.
She did.
Okay.
Okay.
I probably had to take it off to scratch my tattoo. Who knows?
Leorian, I would like you to roll a command plus intimidate 5 dice.
Yeah, I can do that. Let me decide which of these dice is going in the naughty pile and which are being rolled again. I
just want to point out here that you have explicitly threatened an imperator. I want to be clear that that's what's going on here.
I then introduced myself politely.
Sure. Yeah.
Can I support with a Fascinate Graces?
No.
Or rather, a Charm Graces?
No, he's on his own for this.
Okay.
That is no matches.
The figure chuckles and the laughter sort of circulating through the observing crowd intensifies for a moment and then dies away, the last sound being something like a choked off sob. And all of the dancing figures immediately stop in the position that they were in. And this figure with a head of darkness says, "You dare to threaten me in my own base? Well, I may be outnumbered, but I am greater by far than any mere demigod." And all of the silver limning in the city disappears. There is no light whatsoever. And since none of you are affiliated with darkness anymore, you cannot see anything with your mortal senses.
Could I immediately roll a hearing check to get a sense of where things are, blind swordsman style? I will.
Sure, there will be limits to how the utility of this, but you're very good at hearing, so it'll be, more than would be plausible for a real-life person. 7 plus a master die, please, for your sense plus hearing pool.
Sounds good.
I'm going to do a divination of fury, since madness in and of itself is a type of fury, and use that as my sight.
Are you going to put any penetration on this?
So it's going to be at 5. I'm kind of short on points.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I turn to my fellow players. How bright is this Imperator? Do they hurt to look at, like Lady Cillian? Do I have a sense of how powerful they are?
Just shy of where Mott used to be. So
just shy of where Mott used to be.
About as bright as any Nobilis you've met.
So roughly as bright as... Okay. I'll just add 1 point of penetration to bring it up to 6.
Okay.
From my point of view,
assuming
perhaps
they're about as bright. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, from my point of view, and perhaps Leorian's, what Adam just said is not completely unkillable.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
And
I would like to pray to nothing, since darkness is just an absence of light.
And Leorian, your roll there for hearing?
With the master die, that is 4 10s.
Well done. Okay. So, Lissa, you were doing divination of fury. That was a major divination?
Yes.
So upping it to 6 gives it 1 point of penetration.
Correct.
Okay. And then Ramnet, you were going to pray to Dusk.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say?
Dusk. There's a remnant of our boss here, and he's more obnoxious than anything else, but we are in darkness, which is, from a sense point of view, nothing. And so perhaps I was hoping that you might be able to extend your grace to this situation.
There is a brief pause, which will overlap with the outcomes of our other 2 player characters' actions in just a moment. And then you hear Dusk's voice go, I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, boss.
There's no immediate improvement in your ability to sense things, but that one may be forthcoming. So, Leorian, you aren't exactly echolocating, but you can get sort of like with your memory of where things were and your ability to sort of isolate sounds in your hearing, you can get a sense of what direction and about what distance any movement that does happen physically is happening.
Okay.
Lissa, you attempt to map madness here with its relationship to fury. And there is a sympathetic link there. You can see the conduit. But it is something of a trickle. You get something approximating after images in your spiritual senses rather than like a real clear sense. It's kind of like your eyes, your third eye, if you will, hasn't adjusted to the dark.
Mm-hmm. Do I sense where the Octoritas is? Since usually there's a sensation with that, penetrated or no?
Yes. Like a 20-degree arc. You wouldn't be able to like reach out and poke him in the eye, but you'd be able to face him.
Do I have a sense that it's giving, or do I have a sense that I've bounced off it?
Oh, definitely bounced off of it. Yeah.
Also, Adam, I appear to have once again failed to write down the damn gift. However, if I recall correctly, it's spend a miracle point, discover a murder.
Yes, though we had ruled that amping up penetration for it was something that we would only really be doing in the specific
For the
case of the
throne.
throne.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to spend a miracle point and discuss how to murder madness.
Okay. You reach out with your murder sense, which is what I'm going to gloss it as here. I don't know if that will be a permanent name or not, but
Can murder senses tingle?
Yes.
I plan to invest heavily in Murder Sense before the IPO. I got real good feelings about that company.
We're going to make a killing.
I'm sorry.
There's one to that account.
I'm sorry. Adam, knock him dead. Go for it.
So, you reach out with your murder sense, and in a mortal, the murder of madness is very much like sobering up. It requires a confrontation with stark reality.
I will pass this along.
Leorian, you are able, in the relatively brief span of time it takes for all of this to, sort of probe the situation and for Leorian to pass along his information, be able to detect two general, sounds of movement. One, you can use your spiritual sense to pinpoint as Apatia moving rapidly in sort of a counterclockwise circuit of the outside of the plaza. The other, you can infer, is the dancers dropping to all fours and fanning out in all directions.
Do I get the movement of the dancers in my after image?
Yes, though in your case it's sort of like it's a little bit like watching a TV with motion smoothing turned on. The movement feels uncanny and leaves a trail. Mm-hmm. But you are able to perceive it. It is unclear exactly what they are doing. It's not like they didn't know where you were, if that's what they were heading for. In the moment, go ahead.
I will pray to sensation and suggest that we cooperate by giving this god the gift of lethal sanity.
Ironically, all the reply you get in the moment is a sense of something between a giggle and a cackle. But you at least know that Apatia heard you. As this prayer is going on, you hear the voice of the hooded figure coming seemingly from all directions at once, saying, "These demigods had the blessings of darkness and cast them away. They threw in their lot with mere mortals, even though they were called to a higher purpose. They are strong and mighty, but devote yourselves to me, and they will be helpless before us."
We did not cast away shadows. Shadow was taken from us.
Ramnet.
Yes.
give me a command plus perform oratory. 2 dice.
2 dice, motherfuckers. That's probably what I should have put my master die in this time. Oh well. Pair of 6s.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can I build on that and chime in that Mott in their existence was far greater than you, and they too fell to our enemy. If you have hope to survive, then you'll have to work with us. What was the word they were using for us again?
I think they said demigods this last time. Apostates was a term used earlier.
Yeah. Apostates. Can I do Command Inspire?
Command Inspire was what I was going to ask for.
Perfect.
1 plus a master die.
Rad.
That's going to be a pair of 7s.
Okay. And Leorian, your addition.
Apostasy would mean, in place of gods and masters, nothing. And I draw my lure.
Do you then begin to play?
Oh yeah. I aim in the darkness for whatever seems like the largest cluster of dancers as they try to fan out.
I would like to point out that there will be members of the crowd between you and whatever dancer you aim at.
I think we are still in the yelling stage of
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So canonically, I am about to start playing, and I am talked down, perhaps non-verbally, by my compatriots. But it is drawn, and I am ready to play at a moment's notice.
Okay.
This does seem like an option, though, for a further, Command Inspire, Charm Fascinate, somewhere in that realm for you to build on the chord we have going.
Mm-hmm.
Can I also can I fire the equivalent of a warning shot with my lure? I don't aim at anyone. In fact, I intentionally aim at no one. I aim above them, but I give a single doot.
A single warning. Doot.
So this is like an intimidate
A doot
roll.
in the darkness.
Yeah, I would say it is an intimidate roll. I mean, I don't know how that works because I have the perform music with misplaced confidence, but yeah.
Sure, but you're not performing music. You are playing a single note.
That's fair. Okay, sure. You don't like Philip Glass. I get it.
Well, the intent tier 2 is different. This is less like allowing people to contemplate the one, pitch
Sure,
and voice, and more like firing a handgun into the air.
It is essentially firing a handgun into the air, but the shot is a dude. Yeah, so I will roll Command Intimidate. Fair enough.
5 dice.
That is a pair of 2s.
Okay. So, as you play this note, you, and to a slightly lesser degree, Lissa, are able to perceive that the dancers have started to essentially pick small groups of people to sort of dance toward, with, around, trying to draw them into the dance. Seems to be the intent here. And it seems to be working. But, Leorian, you fire your warning shot, and it impacts at a spot and trajectory that matches up in your mental map of the space with the statue. There is a sort of constant murmuring and a sort of low background hum of sporadic laughter from among the people in the square. And Leorian, you in particular will note that there are more Fermatans in this plaza now than there were when you first arrived. The ones who haven't been ducking inside have been arriving in a fairly steady, if not immense, stream.
Can I start in on a speech more toward fascinate than inspire or oratory.
If you are using fascinate, you are picking a single target.
Okay.
Now, this could be for the benefit of an audience in some ways, right? Like,
then I will address the remnant of Mott. And argue the point that madness is just an escape from reality.
Okay.
And escape will simply delay the downfall of these people that you are supposed to care about as their god. And if you cannot shepherd your own flock, if you can only hide them away in the depths of insanity before their end inevitably comes for them, what good are you?
That'll be 4 plus a master die.
While we wait for the results of this roll and while that speech is occurring, can I do a creation
3
of...
tens.
Oh, excellent. A creation of fury to kind of... Well, I'm going to do a creation of fury at how stupid the dancing is. And that the old Mott would have never been a fan of such ridiculous moves.
Yes, you can do the miracle. We'll get to its effects depending on how the rest of this kind of goes. Leorian, anything in particular since we have actions from the other two?
Sure. So this is a round after my warning dude. I think I just continue being vigilant since I'm the one with sort of the best like sensory understanding of what's happening. Have they moved? Are they holding position now that they found out?
They're dancing. They're dancing.
They're just dancing. Okay.
Small groups of people who are being drawn into their dance.
I am vigilant about their terrible dance. And the other thing that I do,
you could,
you
fuck
could
up
dance.
their tempo.
I was about to say, that is definitely a thing that I do. Is their dance is now all fucked up.
I like Dez's answer better.
I perform what Lissa beautifully taught me, which is a petty miracle. And I don't do, this is a ghost miracle. It's a small thing in the great scheme of things, but I don't do any one specific thing to their dancing. I do a whole bunch of different things to each of their dancings with my focus. Some of them are going too fast. Some of them are going too slow, but they are
all of them are in are in time signatures best suited toward math.
This does not matter unless the dance is important to them, in which case it matters very deeply.
I'm going to rule that you can't use a ghost miracle for that. You are affecting a bunch of people who aren't you. And that's not really what ghost miracles do. What this sounds like is a lesser destruction at level 5. You are disrupting their tempo.
Yeah, what if I play the drum, and I play it in the wonkiest way a drum has ever been played?
Okay. In that case,
I don't know what it'll mean to pay this back, but we'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Sure. Go ahead and roll your command plus perform music. This is the misplaced confidence as well, so that's going to be 8 plus an expert die, but you will not succeed if your set is lower than 4.
Sure. Expert die will be set to 6, of course.
Naturally.
But actually, that's 3. Well, let's see. I got 3 8s or a pair of 10s. Do I want depth? Do I want height or breadth here?
It's a relatively small difference in height.
That's true. Yeah, let's go with the 3 8s.
Okay. You basically, and you won't be able to do this precisely, but you basically replicate the beginning of Painkiller by Judas Priest on this drum.
I don't know I'm doing that, but that's what I'm doing.
No, absolutely not. But I am going to rule that you are essentially out of commission doing this until further notice, because we won't necessarily know how it affects you personally for a moment.
Fair enough.
Okay. So we also need to establish here what has happened as a result of the other actions having been taken. So, again, your sensory feedback is limited here. But Romnet, your, sort of small speech here, at the very least, results in an increase in the murmur sort of susurrating through the invisible to you crowd, around you. And Lissa, you have successfully created fury, but something about it feels slippery. It's hard to be sure exactly what has happened as a result of your miracle. Like, your directionality of intent is like solid as it leaves your metaphorical grasp, but
again, madness and fury are close.
Yeah, it's a little dissonant. It's attempting archery in the middle of a storm, a little unpredictable. In the midst of this, Leorian starts playing his drum very chaotically, and the divine among you, including our player characters and everyone else with divine attributes present here, feels the sort of whip-sawing tension of contorting flows of time eddy through the area. You have no idea what this is like for the mortals. But you also, about 2 heartbeats after the drumming has resolved into sort of an identifiable separate sound, you start to hear screams from like 3 o'clock, from where you all are standing, in the direction that you can sense Apatia in.
It's not Apatia screaming.
Well, it's more than one person screaming, so at the very least,
it's probably
it's
fine.
Not just Apatia.
Not just. Can I see where she is?
You could turn to face her, but it's not like you can see her body.
Like with the sight, can I see? Like
you can.
On...
You can see a little distant ping pong ball of bright light in her direction.
We can see the shard. I think we cannot see the person through the sight, is what I'm
correct.
saying.
Yeah, no, you don't get like a silhouette of her, and you don't see it doesn't shed light on anything in the intervening space.
We don't know if she's one of the ones screaming. We have no way to know.
Correct.
It's probably her inflicting sensation on people.
That seems a reasonable supposition under the circumstances.
Yep.
You could also suppose that my compound time signatures are intense for, someone based on sensation. That's fair.
At this point, the figure, the hooded figure, sort of unleashes something between a peal of laughter and a howl. And Romnet, you are tempted to take it as a response to your accusations, but it doesn't really seem to function as one. The hooded figure simply just calls out, "A war hero returns from the battle, wounded but glamorous, and you turn your backs on them. But did you even see them in the first place? No, of course not. The dances of celebration for the victory are unhinged, and that is as it should be, because the celebration of life is the same as the celebration of death, and oh no, what's this?" And then you hear a crack as of stone being rent asunder.
I would like to argue, I'd like to roll knowledge plus law for the first time in this campaign.
All right.
To argue that for any society, there are differences between life and death. And necessarily these are distinct for the mortals that he is supposed to be leading, guarding, protecting, etc. After all, what is a god but someone to take care of and invest your belief in?
Okay.
So that would be 6 dice.
Yeah, your knowledge plus student law is as your lore, which is 4, so 6 dice.
3 10s again.
Wow. So let's see. With that roll, let me also get a sense plus empathy 7 plus a master die, one of your specialities.
That is 6 9s.
That is a rare form of nice right there.
That is the most powerful form of 69 you can ever achieve.
Seriously.
As you begin this,
I mean, given that I'm empathizing with madness, this may backfire very severely in the way of Adam. But
so as you begin this argument, it dawns on you that your purpose here isn't really to persuade, it is to provide concrete mundanity in this space.
Yeah.
And so you allow yourself to kind of go on at length while making sure that your words are grounded. And you have the instinct here after the first couple of times that you do it to steer away from categorical assumptions about the relationship between an imperator and mortals, because that is a value judgment, and not as sort of grounded in that particular way in sort of the mundane and the material, which is what actually will help you to sort of establish a baseline against which madness can be judged. But that's going to be what you're going to be doing for a minute or two here. You are essentially providing the bedrock.
Yep.
The screaming from Apatia's direction has both broadened and intensified as you begin to do this. It in any non-metaphysical sense would have made your speechifying irrelevant, but that's not really what you're doing.
Right.
Here.
I am casting the spell, reality exists.
Indeed.
If at any point you would like me to expend miracle points at this, feel free to say. I would like to keep a little bit in reserve in case this does become a murder.
Sure.
As I dearly hope it do.
Currently, that is unnecessary. Leorian, you continue to play your drum, but you are starting to feel rather like a spring being wound. And you are unsure of how long you will be able to keep it up. Lissa?
Is the spring also being put through a mangle?
Not yet.
Good, honestly.
Yeah, that's a promising sign.
For the best.
Sensing the slipperiness of fury, I'm going to do instead a lesser creation.
Mm-hmm.
Or a lesser destruction, of fury in this area. That now that they've gotten worked up, they realize that it was all for naught. And I guess the destruction of fury in this case would feel like after that fury is spent, that extreme fatigue and pointlessness and ennui that sets in.
You essentially create something of an instant vacuum. There is a muted quality to the air from your perspective, and everything sort of stumbles one beat around you. Even the screaming is interrupted momentarily.
Yeah, just take the sensations now.
Well, also you've created a space for nothing to get in.
I have to make a roll.
Dusk's inversion of grammar continues to dominate this.
The figure on the statue has continued to speak at a lower volume through all of this. It is unintelligible with all the other sounds going on, and the words aren't so much the point anymore anyway. The number of dancers has overall increased, except for where Apatia is. Leorian, you will be distantly but precisely aware of this. Alyssa, you will be less distantly but less precisely aware of this.
And I will be unaware.
Indeed. Alyssa.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to roll Sense plus Sight 2 dice for me.
Five and an 8.
Okay.
Should I Lady Luck it? Nah. Okay.
I can tell you that.
You can, but you won't.
Mm-hmm. Precisely.
I have no guarantees that there wouldn't be a better time to use it coming down the line.
Now that you've said that, Lady Luck, please help me. 5 and a 1.
Okay.
Luck.
Okay.
There were 2 5s between the two of them.
There were 2 5s between the 2 rolls. Lady Luck kind of tried to help out.
Something in the air around you, Alyssa, feels like it's making your skin crawl. And then you realize, no, that's not it at all. Something on the surface of your skin is actually moving. And once you can reconcile the sensation, your tattoo, whatever alteration it's recently undergone, is in motion. And straining in a particular direction. You sort of glance over there and nothing immediately jumps out to you, and there's a lot of distraction because at this moment Leorian's drumming reaches sort of like a chaotic fever pitch and then stops. Leorian, you don't stop drumming, but your drum stops making a sound because it stops being one thing, and you stop being one thing. You are currently moving in a few directions at different paces in different positions, and each part of you going in a different direction is holding a different element of the drum. This one has the drum head, that one has the frame, this one's just holding a handful of fasteners. And then the last one is the one pantomiming playing the drum. Perfection.
Can I go in the direction that the tattoo is pulling me?
You may. Things are happening relatively quickly here. Lissa. Because you are using the site to try to keep track of where things are, you have a moment's premonition, and I need you to roll coordination plus dodge, 3 plus a master die.
Mm-hmm. And remember that there's also my martial path as don't think I'm going to need it. That's going to be 3 9s.
Okay, all right.
But I also have my martial path for mortal attacks.
Mm-hmm. You had 3 in your set?
3 9s, yes.
Okay. You feel the air rippling as something immense passes within millimeters of you and then crashes with an ear-splitting sound to the pavement. and you're off in the direction that your tattoo is pulling. And as you body your way through some of the people standing in the plaza, you see what your tattoo is pulling you toward. It is a pinpoint of light. You recognize it. It's Moxie. At that moment, Leorian, all of your pieces rubber band back together, and you lose consciousness. With one final thump of your drum.
No.
Ramna, you are still sort of providing this baseline reality. And a lot of the chaos and sound and movement seems to have tapered off. And then the scene becomes sort of a film negative of itself, going from perfect darkness to a whiteout. And everything stops for a moment. And then it starts to drift back towards the middle. You're in the plaza. There are trees above, silver limning, a little bit of sunlight. Fully 50% of the mortals in the plaza are lying down. It's unclear if they're conscious, unconscious, alive, dead. They're not moving a bunch at any rate. You'd have to go around and check breathing and pulses. The rest seem to be sort of blinking something away. And standing, leaning more on a broken statue in the middle of the plaza is, well, it takes you a moment to recognize the figure of Brother Umber, because his face is covered in blood from where his eyes have been gouged out. And his head has been shaven. He isn't, you don't think, dead. He seems to be panting raggedly. And there seem to be little streams of darkness sort of flowing towards him here and there throughout the plaza. Lissa, you are currently in motion when this all happens toward a small knot of people consisting of Kea, Thad, Varric, and Alona, who are sort of standing in a tight circle, backs facing inward, looking pretty weirded out and mostly surrounded by people who are frozen mid-gyration, some wearing masks, others formatans.
Point of order.
Yes.
Does Brother Umber have shards within him?
Mm-hmm.
Is he the Imperator?
Well, he's certainly in the spot where the Imperator was, but there isn't a whole lot to indicate Nobilis or Imperator status around him now, just sort of a miraculous residue.
Damn.
The side of the square where Apatia was has a bunch of people sort of sprawled. Some grimacing, some smiling, some you're not sure they're laying face down. And Apatia herself is standing there with a lot of blood from her chin down to about her waist, with a pretty feral grin, and her eyes aren't literally glowing, but they give the impression of luminescence all the same. Fortunately,
I'll continue to talk to her about law.
Dark, gauzy wraps do a lot to disguise the carnage. You continue.
Yeah, does she look normal in the sight?
Oh yeah, I mean, she looks like she ever does in the sight. She's just normal for her is relative.
Yeah. The main thing I think I was making sure is that she was not in her delight vulnerable to the Imperator.
Not currently. Possibly before this point, but you'd be speculating. This is a long, call it 15 seconds. And
I
then
will also mutter under my breath, "Thanks, boss."
slowly the absence of light stops being absent. The darkness starts to kind of creep in again, but it's more of a restoration of the way Fermata was before than the absolute darkness that you had seen previously. And Lissa, as you're observing this, you feel a single fat raindrop on your cheek.
I look up with my sight and with my eyes.
You look up with your sight and your eyes, and at the moment that you perceive there to be sort of a miraculous effect above you, beyond the branches of the trees, the rain turns into a deluge, just a sheet. Sweeps through the plaza, and in a second and a half, everyone in it is soaked. And you hear a familiar voice say, "Oh, I seem to be late to the party. My apologies." And Philia is standing just inside the gates.
Hello.
Your arrival is as stylish as ever, Philia.
She actually seems a little bit shy as she sort of says, "Well,
You just missed madness. It wasn't much."
She looks around and says, "I don't think I want to know what much is, then." Rhymilus,
Can I look and see what I dodged?
about half the statue.
Ah. Excellent.
As the rain pours down, everything except Philia's voice is pretty hard to hear over the rainfall. She's perfectly audible. And as the rain pours down, people who are sprawled around the plaza start to sort of like slowly kind of sit up, push themselves over onto their sides, start to rouse. Apatia sort of stands there looking up into the rainfall for a moment and then starts to kind of, I don't know, what's a good word for rapid saunter? In
Stalk.
There you go.
John.
Stalk in your direction. Sort of Lissa's in particular, since you're close to where Ilona and Kea and Thad and Varric are. She's heading in that direction. Philia, too, sort of heads towards you, and a careful eye will note that where the canals pick up on the edge of the plaza, they are also showing signs of, like, wind and current that they don't usually show. Leorian, you sputter awake with your windpipe half full of rainwater. And your first thought is that you have to get your drum stowed. It can't get rained on.
Well, I absolutely do that.
And then you're back in control.
I greet Philia. I thank Philia without even necessarily knowing why.
She, as she sort of passes, goes to nod graciously at you and then sort of blinks and extends a hand in your direction.
I take it gratefully.
She sort of, with surprising strength from her low angle, hauls you up to your feet and says, "You look almost as drowned as me. What happened?"
Chaos supersedes madness, I think. It's a pleasure to meet you.
She gives you a waterlogged grin and says, "The pleasure is mine, I'm sure. I happen to like chaos a little better than madness myself."
I grin broadly and am overwhelmed with the simple fact of being.
As you approach where Alyssa is standing and Apatia is heading and your mortal friends are standing, Ramnet, are you heading that direction, or are you keeping up your monologue?
I'm going up to Brother Umber.
Okay. We'll catch up with you in just a moment then, because where this other little knot of people is, a small whirlwind springs up around you, and you hear Ramus's voice. Says, "My apologies, friends and allies, for not preventing the entry of this one into the city. He somehow eluded my senses, but here we are now, all together within at last. Isn't it marvelous?" Leorian. Okay.
It's wonderful, and you have nothing to apologize. I think that was the remnants of Mott, and it's hard to sense what was already here.
He gives you the impression through like a sort of sine wave wind current of sort of a nod, a firm one at that. And after a beat, Apatia and Kea both sort of go to hug you, and Thad looks like he wants to, but thinks better of it. And after a beat, Ilona doesn't hug you, but hugs Apatia's arm where it isn't reached around you. And
congratulations, you are the center of a group.
Yeah.
It is going to spiral outward from there, like a polycule.
Lift them both up. A firm hug.
Kea sort of giggles somewhat self-consciously. Apatia unself-consciously just licks the side of your head right in front of your ear. Ramnet.
Congratulations, you now have blood on your face.
A little bit, but the rain is helping with that.
Not the first time or the last
time. Ramnet, you approach where Brother Umber is, and he's sort of gasping raggedly, but doesn't seem to be, as far as you can tell, with his current state, like, aware of anything happening around him. But even through the wet of the torrential rain, he looks clammy.
Is there any divinity in him at all in the sight?
Interesting. I kind of want to make you roll here, but I don't know if there's a justification for it. You know what? Let's have you roll Sense plus Eerie. Not to see if you get any information, but just to see what specific information you get. It's 8 dice.
Yep. 2 10s over 2 8s, so 2 10s.
Okay. You behold him with mortal senses, you behold him with the sight, and what you are able to sort of piece together is that he is dying. Specifically because he has had one or more shards revoked.
One or more. There were quite a few in there.
If I make it a murder, can I get any power out of it? Particularly since he has been functionally a lifelong opponent of mine. If not, I'm probably going to murder him anyway.
Sure. So a lesser creation of murder here. doesn't seem to me to have much bearing on how much of a foe he was to you or not. But what you can do, I'm going to rule, is you can miraculously sort of underscore the intent to kill him in the withdrawing of the shards.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wish to put him out of his misery yourself, that will allow you think, to nettle a little power here.
That is exactly what I will do then.
Okay.
The holes in his heart left behind are bigger.
He shudders violently for a moment and then goes still and is cold preternaturally fast. And what you have essentially done here is steal the murder of Brother Umber from that which had used him here. And that gets you 2 temporary miracle points to put wherever you want to refill your meters by 1 in any 2, or 2 in any 1, or 1 in any 2 meters. So Ramna, as you are receiving this power, I am going to rule that you also are able to perceive that some power is being siphoned in some degree in a different direction as well.
Okay.
So, people around the square are rousing. There's torrential rain, circulating winds, broken statuary, a mystic avatar's corpse, some people with rapidly healed.
Honestly, this all has the feeling of Celian's hand.
People with rapidly healed but still blood-stained puncture wounds. It's a whole scene.
Well, there's a lot of people gathered in one place. Might not be a bad time for a sermon.
It's true. Hey, Liarian, are you conscious?
I believe so.
I think you're the best one to sermonize. I just provide reality.
I think what I do actually is perform music, albeit in a non-concussive way.
Having, in the last couple of months, been to a hardcore and metal festival.
It's not a given, right? I feel the need to specify.
Exactly. It is a meaningful distinction.
Yeah, but I mean, I have just written a hymnal. So I expound upon the unique value of nothing and the meaninglessness of conflict in this context with my lute.
Excellent. So I'm going to get 2 rolls from you here.
Sure.
Oh, actually, you know what? This might actually be a great time to do the thing. You are doing 2 things at once. So, how this is going to work is you are doing Command Inspire for 5 dice, and Command Perform Music for 7 plus an Expert die. Now, you lose that Expert die because doing 2 things at once imposes a 1 die penalty. And you'll use your smaller pool here. So you're going to roll 4 dice, and let me know what you get.
Okay. 2 9s.
Rather excellent.
Excuse me, sorry, 2 8s. One of those 9s was a 6.
Oh, okay.
My bad. It is actually 2
nice.
2 8s. Describe to me how you perform this. You've told me what you perform, but give me your attitude, positioning, tone, performance aspects. Paint a picture for our audience.
Having attempted to supersede madness with chaos, I now take the opposite tack. This is form itself. This is exact. It is regular. It is probably in 4/4, God help me. It is utterly orderly, and it seems to be order itself. It seems to be logic itself. It seems to be inarguable. I stand up straight even if people can't see me, and I speak confidently even if they can't hear my confidence. And I sing even more confidently, especially if that confidence is evident only to me. And I make it utterly clear in every way available to me that the message being conveyed is inarguable. And that message is, forget all of this. Join us in nothing.
Never mind all that.
Pardon our mess, but
Bless this mess.
bless this mess.
So,
Come huddle with us.
I love the breadth of reference that we just got. It was like 5 lines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna attempt to put that stuff in the show notes, but God knows if I'll catch it all. You mount the plinth of the broken statue, and miraculously the storm abates around you, just in a cylinder around your person. And you begin to play, sing, gesture, speak, and are miraculously audible throughout the plaza. Your mortal companions and Apatia move around helping people with their feet, speaking softly to them, patting them on the shoulder. In a couple of cases, Apatia takes a genteel drink from someone, giving them a bow afterwards. In a few other cases, Ilona seems to examine someone, reassure them. Kea, Thad, and Varric are doing more sociable, companionable, sort of low conversation. Lissa, Ramnet, anything you are doing in particular while Leorian conveys his message?
If it matches the tone of the hymnal,
Mm-hmm.
I do a ghost miracle of nothing around myself. Fury rendered nothing. Like, try to make it... Well, I guess I don't have darkness anymore. Crap. So I can't really do the nothing effect. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm so used to... Can I do, like, another destruction? Like, I'm very cautious in this case to keep it away from, obviously, the storm and our companions, but I do a calming destruction of fury in my vicinity.
Sure, yeah, you just calm things down. Ramnet, you were saying?
I quietly, in the sense that I'm not yelling it, but audibly in that I'm not whispering, talk in the same way that I did with Law, but just about the state of the world without gods or any of that nonsense in it. And just describe that there are places and there are people and there are societies, and societies are organized by humans with laws and rules, and there is history and there is the future, and there is all of this everything going on. And sure, divinity is nice in theory, and divinity intervenes in practice. But isn't it better to just have an ordered life in the grand scheme of things?
Would you give me a command plus perform oratory for 2 dice?
Was really hoping for lore on that one. But
understood. Sure. I am gonna just go ahead and say I am assuming that your lore here is going to be solid. What we are doing now is
Yeah.
how well does it accentuate what Leorian is doing?
1 and a 10.
Okay.
So, no matches.
Sure. The wind circling the plaza warms somewhat as you all settle into your roles. The sunlight coming down through the trees and through the haze of rain, which does not seem to have come with clouds, brightens and deepens somewhat. The people in the plaza sort of congregate as they trail behind primarily Apatia, but your mortal companions in the square as well, as they are led sort of into a tighter knot of folks in front of the statue where Leorian is playing. If it's fine with you, Ramnet, I'm going to rule that you're sort of standing at the base of it off to one side as you speak.
Yep.
And a relative calm and resolution comes over it. And there is a sense of reverence as this address winds down. But no one bows their head to pray. No one kneels to offer supplication. Instead, everyone sort of squares their shoulders, looks one another in the eye. And Leorian, as you wind down, and you almost sort of like feel like you're returning to yourself in a way that you had been a conduit before for the meaning you were conveying. Just a sense of peace and relief as the storm abates and a half dozen or so very small, very faint rainbows spring up where the rays of the sun penetrate the canopy most strongly.
I give Philly a thumbs up when the rainbows appear.
She gives a lopsided smile and sort of mock bow off to one side. The slick cobblestones are sort of giving you the sense of a fresh start as everyone claps each other on the shoulder and shakes hands and starts to go their own way. Some of them humming the song that Leorian was playing. The divines and their closer mortal companions and attendants are left in a small knot around the base of this statue, what remains of it, as afternoon above shades into evening. One thing that you will notice is that all of the silver flowers in this plaza have wilted and died. And that's where we'll end our session. All of our players can have one mortal and one divine experience point for their actions here. I hope that felt reasonably, significant to play through. I know there were a lot of moving
parts. Fucked me up, honestly. Yeah. Huh? In a good way.
That's all I can really hope for. So, that concludes this session of Dice Punks. Thanks for joining us. I hope our players and listeners enjoyed it as much as I did, and that you'll all join us again next time. If you're hearing us now, you probably know where to listen to this, but we can be found almost any place one can listen to podcasts, as well as on the wider web at dicepunks.com, and Twitter, for the time being, is at dicepunks. With that, I think we're ready to say farewell, so say goodbye to the kind folks at home, players.
Thanks for listening, and there is hope in the dark, and friends, and enemies. You'd actually be amazed how many things are there in the dark.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Remember to turn to your friends if you ever strongly consider being an accessory to murder.
They might help. Thanks for listening, folks. And sometimes it's just best to wait for your enemies to expend themselves before you murder them.
And as the poet once said, so let's make a decision, start a new religion. Yeah, we're going to build a temple to our love. Orgiastic dances, nymphs and trances. Yeah, we'll be the envy of the gods above. Thank you for tuning in, dear listeners, and stick around through the admin stuff for Leorian's Layers. The songs in this episode, theme of the Dice Punks in its acoustic version, were written and recorded by the Viscount of Tempo in his element, Drew. Cover art is by Joanne, who's appeared on the podcast now and again. Check out her work around the internet, where she goes by Anything Sows. Site design and graphics for dicepunks.com are by Robin, the player behind Lissa and Navia, Nobilis of Darkness, Fury, and the Forge. Rain and the one-roll engine it runs on were created by Greg Stolze, whose work can be found in a lot of places, but I'll point you toward gregstolze.com. Nobilis was created by Jenna Catherine Moran, and she can be found primarily at afarandsunlessland.wordpress.com. Links to both systems and authors can be found on the Punk Grimoire section of our website, dicepunks.com. Thanks so much for listening. If you liked what you heard, that's reward enough on its own, but if you're so inclined, you can help us out by rating and reviewing us wherever you listen to us, telling your friends who you think would like us to give us a listen, and even by heading over to our Patreon at patreon.com/dicepunks. We have fun rewards available to backers, including a patron-only Discord and access to the Dice Peaks After Show for episodes 1 and following. Regardless, we hope you'll tune in again, and until then, remember, subtlety is for cowards.
Well, I suppose now I've done everyone else's thing, which means it's time for me to do my own thing, whatever that is. Though, just by saying that, I guess I've gone and buried this thing, whatever it is, under expectation, under self-reflection. Call these complications Leorian's Layers. Layer 1. When you drum chaos, chaos drums also you. Layer 2. Battle not with gods, lest you become a god. Layer 3. Layer 3 is not words, but music, notes blacking out the page like thick, dark, sudden storm clouds. Layer 4. We're beyond words and music now. Madness is pure will, untethered from propriety, from survival even, but chaos is untethered too from madness. Chaos does not cater to the madman any more than it caters to reason. Layer 5. There is no bottom to this, is there? Down we go, and down, up and through, out and away, inward and together and beyond. Layer on layer, we lose count. It hadn't occurred to me that losing mortality would mean losing sense, losing the sensible. I knew I'd have to rely on metaphor, but this is pataphor, steps removed, maybe empty signifiers, reference lost and irretrievable. The sight of Apatia and the sight of Philia Sight with a capital S brings me back. Visceral, viscera, deluge. Whatever else we have or lack or are or aren't, we still have bodies of some kind or other. We're us. We're alive. Our inability to define those terms means nothing. We're us. We're alive. Now, what's next?